People who give up drive me mad. However, if I'm going to be really honest with myself, I'm going to have to admit to you this morning that occasionally I can be one of their number. There can be challenging times. There can be challenging things in my own life that I come to a point and I just say, enough. And we see it happen all the time. The couple who's been married for X number of years, they're frustrated with each other. And instead of attempting to reconcile and to fix the things that need to be fixed, they both say, you know something, I've had enough. I give up. We're getting a divorce. How about the parent who is challenged by his or her son or daughter who for years has struggled with substance abuse issues? The parent finally says, you know something, I've had enough. I've been a good enough mom or dad. I don't need to do anything more. Enough. Or how about in the workplace? Our boss or our coworkers demand too much of us, or whatever we do is never good enough. And so we say, you know something? Enough. I don't need to work here. I quit. But the younger end of the spectrum, the college student who after the first semester says, oh, this isn't for me. I quit. Doesn't even have to need to be there. A high school student who says, you know something, that high school diploma, it's just a piece of paper. I don't need one of those. I quit. I don't need that. Or how about the younger children? You're on a baseball team, soccer team, basketball, whatever you want to play. And the coach never puts you in the game. You think to yourself, well, obviously I'm not good enough. I quit. Does any of this resonate with anyone here this morning? I thought so. Quitting, giving up. What's the old saying? When the going gets tough, we take a hike. The heart of the parable that we hear this third Sunday of Lent in the gospel is this landowner. Now, obviously, he's fairly wealthy because he even can afford a gardener. Luke is very, very specific. He's giving us little tidbits to help us understand the importance of what Jesus is trying to convey to his disciples. This guy who owns a piece of property. And 3 years, Luke writes, 3 times he's gone every year to a fig tree. He wants figs. Who wouldn't want figs? I want some figs. And he looks at the tree, and there are no figs. He gives up. He says to the gardener, cut it down. But the gardener, there's a little bit of wisdom here. He says to the landowner, hold on, don't just give up just yet. I know what's wrong. You see, we need to feed it. We need to fertilize the ground. We need to take care of it. We need to do something. And then it might actually produce some fruit. Wow. We have to do something if we want to produce fruit. So the child who says, I quit that baseball team, a good parent would say, well, whoa, hold on. Before you quit, why didn't you practice a little bit more? Couples, I know you're looking at me, a celibate man who lives by himself. What do you know about marriage? Well, for almost 18 years as a canon lawyer, I've been helping people get out of that sacramental marriage. And I've come to realize that there's a lot of similarities about the breakdown of a marriage. And you know what I've come to learn? You're not going to believe this. It's going to amaze you that the primary reason for the breakdown of a marriage, don't tell anyone. But couples stop talking to one another. They don't listen to one another. It's just an observation. It requires work. Relationships require work. But we can be tempted. Oh, and temptation is a real thing. We can be tempted to just quit. You know, I could continue my litany or my list of things that we could quit, and I have to admit that we'd probably be here until 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Do you know, this past Friday, as I was here with, I don't know, about 125 parishioners praying the Stations of the Cross, I've been praying the gospel all week, trying to apply it to first my life, and obviously to our lives. And something struck me as I was praying the Stations of the Cross. And I mean, it's not like I had this great epiphany or something. But each and every time Jesus falls under the weight of the cross, not once, not twice, but thrice, he gets up. Wow. He doesn't give up. You know, think about it for a second. Now he's got two natures. He's perfectly human and perfectly divine. He already knew the outcome of what was going to happen. And he also knows and knew that we were going to continue to sin, namely to reject God's love and friendship over and over and over and over again. After the first time, he could have been tempted to say, you know something? I've had enough of this humiliation. I've done my part already. The cross is heavy enough. I give up. You don't deserve it. But he doesn't do that, does he? God never gives up on us. Here's the thing. He doesn't want us to give up on ourselves either. And sometimes we can be tempted to do that. We can be like the landowner and just say, that's it, enough. But the gardener in his wisdom says, no, we got to do something here. You and I have this wonderful season of grace that we call Lent. A time when we look here and say, okay, what kind of fruit have I been producing? How are my relationships? How am I treating my neighbor? And neighbor is a very broad term, so interpret it very broadly. How am I treating my fellow human being? How am I treating myself? How do I need to grow? Well, if you are here this morning to think that you can grow by simply saying to God, all right, hit me, it ain't gonna happen. We have to be the ones who do some work. Most parishioners know that my least favorite season of the year is autumn, fall. I hate it. For many, many reasons. It's a sign of the things to come. But I hate seeing those beautiful green leaves go from that beautiful green to oranges and red and then brown. And then they fall off the trees. And then the grass goes from green to brown. But without the death, we can't have new life. Father Simeon, who preached our parish mission this past week, told us at the beginning that we need to put things into perspective. One of the things that I've been trying to do this Lenten season is to exercise a bit more frequently. Not bad, but I could do better. But one of the things that I've really been noticing, the buds on the trees, and the crocuses, and the daffodils are emerging from those dead leaves It's going to take somebody, some TLC, to go over there and to remove those leaves so that the flowers and the plants can grow. So what is it in our hearts, our minds, and our souls that need to be cleaned? What needs to be pruned? Don't just cut it off and throw it away and say, I give up. This is not a season when we scream out, Uncle! No, just the opposite. This is the growing season. Just remember, and remember it well, no matter how much we have to struggle in this life, no matter the temptations to give up, God never gives up on us. And because of that, He doesn't want us to give up on ourselves.